Alrighty. Have a bit of time here. I'm going to try to get a video done. My gosh, it's been one thing after another. All right, this is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon and Flat Earth Homeland. And what I found here is these are screenshots from other videos, and I'm going to give some of those videos. Some of them are thumbnails. The series that I did, Manifesto for the OzArk Plateau, in 11 parts. A lot of the thumbnails for the videos are good pictures. Some of them are some of these pictures from this map that I made. Okay, so, some of them, like this is a screenshot from one of those videos. Now, there's two videos. One is called This Map Will Save Your Life, and another is Flat Earth. Let me see if I can get to it right here. There we go. Flat Earth Homeland and the OzArk Plateau. And then the second one there, OzArk Plateau Refuge, the Flat Earth Homeland. So some of the videos here I did specifically for this channel, Flat Earth Homeland. And someday, who knows, some of the leaders, quote unquote, ha ha ha, what a joke, in the Flat Earth movement might extract cranium from rectal defilade. That's a very costly and very humbling and very delicate process where you do a rectal cranial extraction. In other words, pull your head out of your ass. But this map here that was I used as a, what do you call it, my icon for that channel, that is a World War II. This is the map that we waged World War II by. Flat Earth map. Golly gee whiz, what an amazing deal. Okay, it's amazing that all the globalists use Flat Earth maps. You know, all of your maritime, military, United Nations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all of the people that travel all over the globe on a regular basis all navigate using Flat Earth maps. Okay, forget that. Minor bunny trail. I just wanted to show you those. So that's where I'm getting some of these maps from, thank heavens. This one I didn't even remember that I did, because, you know, there's different colorations here. Let me pull out. We'll get to it when we get to it. You know, there's one with the lighting is different, so it looks totally different. The blues look bluer, and the greens look a little bit greener and brighter and whatever. But it was before I started drawing all this other stuff on here. And this is the best one I could find. So on this map, and if I've done this before, oh well. I mean, at this point, I listened to the videos I've got up on this series, and I cannot honestly tell you whether I've covered this or not. So if it's a duplicate, too bad. I don't think it is. So I had not remembered that I'd done this, but here you have the red ring I did as a targeting, just to know where to hold the camera. I did it with the Droid Razor Max, so I was holding it way up in the air, and if I had a phone book or something to stand on, it might have been a little bit easier to do, but I was, you know, looking up as high as I could, holding up as high as I could, and getting clear shots, so I took multiple shots. Anyway, that was the red ring was my targeting to get the centered around the black dots. I had the black dots on there, or some of them. I had it marked out. Oh, I remember. Okay. The rings here, the dots, the X's here, the black X's. Those were my initial targeting, and then I drew the circle around there to know where the heck to hold the camera. Okay, so then you go to the dots, the black dots are where it intersects the 100-mile radius around Springfield, intersects a town or some major point or a county line, county corners and whatnot. So that's kind of the reason behind that. And then at some later point, I drew in the actual outline of the plateau, and you'll see it's a diamond shaped. I think there's a reason for that. This is exactly 120 degrees on Google Earth. It's exactly 120 degrees. I've measured it with a what's called a quick angle for construction. It's to measure. So you can, if you're inside a house, you can measure this, and then you can go outside and it resets and you can make your cuts correctly. But this is 120 degrees. That's 120 degrees right there, which also means that from here to here, this is an equilateral triangle, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. Okay, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. And this isn't precise over here because it's been rounded off by the Missouri and the Mississippi, and it's, it's changed. Rivers change courses over the years, obviously. So, but you can see how it doesn't really line up. I mean, it'd be nice if everything was perfect and all, but it isn't, Sorry. If somebody tells you life is perfect, princess, they're selling you something. Life is pain. If anybody tells you differently, they're selling something. Princess Bride. But you can see the Mississippi coming up here. Okay, that is a border, and it's coming up in an arc. The Missouri is the border, and you can't even see it on this map, but it's up there. It cuts Missouri about in half, something like that. So you got the Mississippi, you got the Missouri. Now over here, and I've just seen this looking at this further out, anytime you see a squiggly line, that means river. That means if you're coming from the outside of the region, you're going to have to find a bridge if you're driving, a ford if you're hiking, walking, some way to float across, a raft, pack raft. There's a guy on YouTube that does a lot of boating up in the northern states, Canada, Norway, something like that. Yeah, I think he's in Norway. But, there's inflatable pack boats, and he blows it up using a bag. It's pretty cool. Pops a bag out. It screws in. It must be a bag made for it, but it screws in. You poof it out and fold it over real quick and squish it with your body, and he blows it up with that. Then he has a bigger raft that's motorized. So things like that will be good for crossing rivers. Word to the wise. So anyway, you can see anywhere there's squiggly lines, those are going to be, interdiction points. Places are going to be hard to cross, hard to get through, hard to get by. And yeah, my corner down here, my my sheath, my holder for the tablet, the corner thing broke off. But I think that's pretty level. It's not level, but I've got the phone adjusted to it, I think. Oh, well. So that's why I'm making a big point out of this, and I'm going to get into it more. Rivers are borders, rivers are borders, rivers are borders. Beat it into your head. Down here, the Arkansas River comes across and will be a big border. Okay, so I'm going to be going other direction here. And I'm just going to go through these. They're just same shots of the same thing. I'm just going to pause for a while so if someone wants to screenshot them. Some of them are further backed out so you can see more of the 4 states. But again, here you can see a heavy straight line. That's Missouri-Arkansas border. Missouri-Kansas border. Oklahoma-Arkansas border. Okay. So those are the 4 states, and as I've said before, there's ballpark within the circular region, the black circular region, about 60 counties in that region. Now, I'm going to cover an article by a geologist, the Ozark Plateau from a geologist's viewpoint, where you could figure the 100-mile radius, a radius from the center, blah, 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 call it a circle if you want. And that works out to about 32,000 square miles. Well, from a geological viewpoint, the Ozark Plateau is about, he says, 50,000 square miles and has all or part of 93 counties. Now, I started here in the center as a circle 1. I did this map. I made this map because of Marjorie Wildcraft. She donated 160 copies of her DVD and DVD-CD set, where the DVD was how to grow your own vegetables, how to grow your own groceries, backyard food production. And the CD was in it with the set as about 60 or so, I don't know, a whole bunch of books and documents on growing food. So one of the most phenomenal pieces of work ever put together. Best value ever, no question. So she gave 60 copies of that and 60 copies of John Jeevan's book, How to Grow More Vegetables, to the OzArk Plateau, donated them to the OzArk Plateau. Could not get a hold of Galen Chadwick. He was kind of off-gridding, helping people get out of Springfield, out onto farms. So she was able to entrust them to me, and I distributed those. Okay. So my point is, because of that, I started wondering, well, how many counties are we talking about? Because Galen was always talking about 17 counties. And I kept saying, Galen, there's more than that. There's more than that. We've got to think about the OzArk Plateau, not Missouri. We're not talking Missouri. We're not talking southwest Missouri. We're talking about a region that is defined by borders. Even at that time, I knew that there was a definitive region, a bioregion. Okay. And so because of that, Marjorie's gift, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, here's 20, 25, 30, here's 32, 35, 40. You know, I just kept going around doing the counties. There's 45, there's 50, 55, Maurice County, and then 60 right about here, Marshall, down in Arkansas. Okay? You get the idea. So, and then I kept going. 60s, and I did up to 100. So basically all or part of 100 counties would fit in this whole, between the circle and the diamond and da-da-da-da-da, on the inside, get west of the Mississippi. No question. That's your biggest deal. Well, number one, get down to the Craton. This is if you're trekking, if you're traveling or whatever, if you're, camping en route or you're on foot or whatever. It's a breakdown situation. Shit hit the fan. Get onto the Craton. Get east of the Rocky Mountains. Get west of the Appalachian Mountains. And I mean west of them, not in them, out of them, west of them. Because the dividing line on those situations is the center of them. Okay, so in other words, the Continental Divide is the center point of the edge of the Craton. The center of the Appalachians is the edge of the Craton. The Craton is critical. It's 120 miles thick. Outside of that, everything is a crapshoot, as in mushy, soft, shot through with volcanoes in the west, and prone to probably going to be flooded a ways up to about 700 feet in the Appalachians. So ain't going to be much. There's going to be a lot less East Coast. There will be no large cities on the East Coast. They'll all be underwater. If this whole scenario, I'm just looking ahead and going, well, it's looking like, and it's looking like, and it sounds like, and there's a whole bunch of future maps we're going to go into that all look eerily similar, with a very wide Mississippi River Valley and not much left of the West Coast. And at first I thought it was insane, and then I got to realizing, all the reading I've done over the years, that there may be some really good reasons for that. And the fact that the U.S. Navy map, quote unquote, that John Moore leaked, or whatever, whoever leaked it, but John Moore shows it, maybe they know something, about the best we can say. A lot of people are talking about rising ocean levels. Who knows? There's a lot of Russians here that escaped persecution in Russia during the 70s and 80s, and they have multiple prophecies in their group of the fact that ocean levels are going to rise. And that's why they are here in the Ozark Plateau, is because they wanted to get inland, and they wanted to get to high ground, and they wanted to get away from destruction. So they're here. So I don't know. Get a clue, Leonid Sharashkin, the editor for the Ringing Cedars series of books, a fantasy story novel series of novels. There are about 8, 9, 10 of them. There's at least 9 of them. Written and started writing in 1993. Worldwide movement of gardeners. They're not believers. What you or I or anybody would consider a Christian per se. They're Vedic, as in the Vedic writings in India, but they're Vedic Russian, Ved Rus, as they call them. And a lot of them are here. Leonid Sharashkin is in Missouri. He went to the Columbia State University, Missouri State University in Columbia and is homesteading down in the Ozarks. So get a clue, get a clue, get a clue, get a clue. A lot of my notes on here, like I said, I'm going to repeat some things. Too bad, so sad. From the western point of the Ozarks to the Rockies is 500 miles. From this point to Mexico is 500 miles. From this point to Canada is 500 miles. From that point to the Appalachians is 500 miles. What are the chances of that happening with man? Zero. Obviously, man had nothing to do with creation. With God, 100%. I do not think it is a coincidence that the Ozark Plateau is exactly in the center of the geological core of the United States, the craton. Not north to south, but east to west it is. In the United States, yes. Canada, different story. Much of Canada is in the craton. I'm not going there. I'm dealing with America here. No, that's fuzzy one. That's not that great, but I left it on there. Some of the notes on here have to do with population density and the number of people that it would need. And if this region was completely surrounded, personnel to support people on the border that are in search and rescue, defensive situations, whatever. But basically our outlying defensive position at this point, one of the biggest ones, is in the redoubt states. A redoubt is a temporary earthen position thrown up at the last minute to defend the main fort against incoming invasion, and that's exactly what you got going on up in the redoubt states. It's an indefensible, hastily thrown up, last minute thought, non-strategic in the sense of it. There was no strategic thinking involved in doing that. It's all tactical, and they have no. They're not taking into account the volcanic activity there. They're not taking into account, Russian invasion. They're not taking into account, a whole bunch of factors that are strategic. This is the map. This map will save your life. That's where I got this screenshot from. You can see that. So you can go to that video and mess around however you do it. I mean, I usually go back and forth until I can screenshot it. So that's how I got this. And it's pretty clear. You can see the water drops, water spots. Well, now it's so faded, it's practically completely illegible. So I'm hoping to get more maps and redo it. If I don't, these are at least up here, and that's why I wanted to get this video done. So, and I'm way past 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut this one off. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant.